astronomers find debris of extraterrestrial alien craft that exploded in space and is orbiting Earth, according to claims. Many people may not realize it, but far above our heads, in the space orbiting our planet, far from where the human eye can see, there is a huge space junk dump. There, all the debris from rockets, satellites, etc., is orbiting around us, including defunct spacecraft, abandoned satellites, and a huge mix of millions and millions of waste thrown into space, all of human origin. However, according to some strange stories, there is more than just junk out there orbiting our planet. They are not of human origin, and various claims refer to one of the strangest things we could encounter: debris from an alien spaceship orbiting our Earth. In 1979, Soviet astrophysicist Sergey Bosich made the spectacular claim that he had found evidence of what he called an extraterrestrial spacecraft that had broken into several pieces and remained in scattered orbit. And according to his estimates, he was able to locate 10 pieces of debris from this spacecraft, many pieces of which are estimated to be about 100 feet long, 30 meters long. Bosich said he calculated the spacecraft's trajectories and concluded that it had spread after some kind of explosion in space on December 18, 1955. But his even stranger claim was that this mysterious alien spacecraft was abandoned and at the same time was probably a tomb now containing the bodies of its occupants. All this easily passes into the fields of paradoxical claims in the context of a strong conspiracy theory by experts of the genre, but there were others who supported the existence of these findings, including the Soviet astrophysicist and science fiction writer Alexander Kazantsev, who said, "Its dimensions suggest several floors, perhaps 5 floors. We believe that foreign bodies will still exist in there." Scientists quickly ruled out the possibility it could be space debris originating from Earth, since the alleged explosion preceded the first human object in space launched by Sputnik 1 in 1957. They also denied that it could be a meteorite, as the space object was maintained in a stable orbit. According to Bosich and his team of scientists, all evidence points to an alien spacecraft exploding in space, and a Moscow physicist, Dr. Vladimir Askaza, said, "Meteors do not have an orbit. They move without purpose. They fly endlessly in space, and they do not explode spontaneously. All the evidence we've gathered over the last decade points to one thing: an alien craft that has exploded in space. A rescue mission must be launched. The ship, or what is left of it, must be reassembled here on Earth. The benefits to humanity can be amazing," he said. Apparently, the discovery also sparked interest in the Americans, and according to the story, there was some degree of cooperation between them to devise a plan to save the damaged spacecraft. One of the problems was that the Soviets were very reticent about the information they had, which led to skepticism from British scientists, one report of which notes, "There are more than 4,000 pieces of debris in orbit around the Earth. Each has a catalog number to identify it. We would like to know the catalog number of this wreck. It's possible to date the wreck after a considerable number of observations. In addition to the Americans, we would be interested in analyzing it if the Russians had this information," the British said. So, also of great interest, it was pointed out that in 1969 article in the journal Icarus, in which astronomer John Bagby claimed to have found 10 objects orbiting the Earth, which he claimed had spread from a single source at the date December 18, 1955, so it compares to the same exact day reported by the Russian Bosich. The story of what was called the Bosich wreckage, quote-unquote, was released in the press and in various news outlets at the time, and it made for quite a sensational story. But there was never any official confirmation of the launch of an actual rescue mission. Perhaps the Americans and Soviets did it secretly. Another theory claims that this was all a Soviet-led misinformation campaign at the Cold Pole at the time. Of course, there's also the Cold Era. the Cold War era. Of course, there's also the possibility that the whole story is a big hoax started by particularly unreliable news sources. The ufologists, for their part, are cautious about all this and admit that it is definitely a very strange story. And this I've translated for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.